Relentless, don't wanna test us. We ball hard, wanna run with the best, you gon' learn your lesson.
Welcome to the Relentless Podcast. I'm Darnell Haney, head coach at the great Jacksonville University, home of the Relentless Women's Basketball Program. I'm joined today by the OG Coach Kenny Brooks, head coach of Virginia Tech, Terrell Robinson, head coach at North Carolina A&T, Ron Hughey, head coach at the University of Houston, David Six at Hampton University, the head coach. And we got a special guest today, going into his 15th season at Syracuse. Coach Q has been dominant, 8 NCAA tournaments, 12 postseasons, Final Four in 2016, NCAA tournament runner-up in 2016 as well. Just recently, he eclipsed the 300-win mark this past season. The man, the myth, the legend, Coach Quentin Hillsman. Coaches, how we doing?
Man. Yeah. Good to be here.
Man, we glad to have you. Glad to have you guys, man, and glad to have you, Coach Q. Now, Coach Q, we've been trying to get you on for a couple weeks, boss. Like, it's been weeks, right? And I know you're a busy man. So it shows that persistence is key, right? We got to stay at it. We got to stay at it.
Listen, man. Listen, man. Thursday at 9 is Thursday at 9. You know, I'm on this little committee thing, man, trying to make it happen. But I'm glad I could be here, man. It's good to be with my brothers.
Man, we glad to have you, man. In the last episodes, each of us has told our story. Now, your story is extremely interesting. Talk to us about your story, how you ended up the head coach at Syracuse, and your journey thus far, man.
My journey is crazy, man. It's all over the place, man. Started in high school, obviously, prep school at Laurinburg and the Patterson School in North Carolina. And then from there, man, just kind of bounced around. Went to Siena College, went to American University, back to high school, you know, to Alabama, came to Syracuse as an assistant, and got an opportunity after my first year there. After Keith Plicky took another detour in his career, and you know, started doing some stuff in the ministry, and got my chance, man. And 15 years later, man, I'm still here. Grace of God, man.
That's awesome, man.
Amen.
Awesome. Grace of God. Now, your teams have always been tough, man, and we know you're going to play that zone, right?
Yes, sir.
Talk to us about your pressure to zone and why you chose to hang your hat on that being your identity on the defensive end of the floor.
Well, defensively, let's start with the zone, because really where it started for me, you know, sitting here with Coach Boeheim every day, man, you get a zone clinic every day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so I'm in there and I'm watching what he does and his principles and things of that nature, and a lot of those things we couldn't do, you know, because of the length and the size that he has, and it just made me just to start to really look and say, if I could recruit to that style and recruit that length, you know, maybe that could be something that could work on the women's side and be effective. And what really started to happen, man, you start watching shooting percentages, and you start watching how the game has evolved. And now, you know, everybody's playing 5 out, everybody's shooting threes, nobody's shooting mid-range shots, either threes or layups. And we figure, you know, if we can start to take away the 3-point shot by being able to keep everything in front of us and knowing where people are, and forcing people to drive to the basket and have some length and some size at the rim, we could affect some shots. And so I kind of started to adopt that. Then on the women's side, we have some really brilliant coaches, man. They started running all these sets and things. We had just a hard time guarding the ball for 25 seconds. So we said, you know, let's try to create some pressure to dictate tempo, dictate the shots we want, or sometimes just to make delay and shrink the clock. So when the pressure evolved out of necessity, man, to be honest, just to kind of control the tempo of the game and try to dictate some of the shots that we wanted to try to, you know, make our opponents take. And man, it's been really good for us, man. It's kept me employed for a long time. I know that. You know, so you know, it's doing something right, man. We still eating, man. We still here, and we're able to, you know, to win some games, man. So it's been great for us, man. It's been great.
Good. Good, good. Coach Rob, we
What's up?
talked about this a little bit, man. Everybody on this call, man, we've all had those moments where you in a timeout, you look one of the players in the eye, and you say, "You got it," and they be like, "I got it." Then they go out on the floor and they don't got it, right?
Yeah.
Do you got to give me an instance where that has happened, and you're like, my goodness, like, but you know it's coming, but you give me an instance where that happened in the game and how you dealt with that. And then after you give us that instance, talk to us about how you ensure your group retains information, be it from scout or be it from what you're saying in a game.
Man, I'm gonna try to do this without saying any names, man, because I don't want to put no young women on blast, man. I appreciate everybody that played for me. But there was I can remember one game, and it was a big game. It was last game of our conference season, and it would have either put us in third place or we dropped down, the numbers in terms of our tournament seeding. And it came down to one play, and there's a play that we always run. And I asked the young lady, I'm like, you know the look that we're looking for. And she said it with emphatic energy. Yeah, that's what she said. Yeah. I'm like, she about to knock that shit down. She about to drill this. And so we run the set, and she gets the ball, man, and she was not ready for the moment. She literally froze wide open, froze, and allowed the defense to cover her, and then it ended up being, a more difficult and tough shot, and we end up losing the game. And I try not to, at the end of games, point fingers, and make, like everybody, try not to make one incident the reason why we lost. Why was the game close? But after that, I'm texting her, I need to see you in my office tomorrow, so we need to have a conversation, you know what I'm saying? And it goes back to things like, film and teaching after that, those teaching moments, not dwelling on it because, we got a tournament game, we got a tournament to get ready for, and you don't want that kid to get in their head, but they need to understand, look, I'm calling your number because I believe in you, and what happened? And they all don't have an answer. I don't know, coach. Well, let's look at this damn film. Let me show you what happened. You know what I'm saying? But as far as retaining stuff, man, like it's no secret. You got to watch film. There's repetition as well. Even when it comes to scouting, there's repetition. Like for us, we start working on our opponents three days before, watching film. Obviously having breakdowns as far as how we're going to guard stuff. Like for us, having worked for Beth Cunningham, and I got a story about Q too. The one time that I actually had to scout Syracuse. But anyways, Beth wanted you to have the sets, wanted you to know the plays and all that stuff, and that's kind of the same thing that I've taken to with my staff, because I think it's important for our kids for us to prepare the test, which is obviously the game itself. So we do a lot of breakdowns, a lot of film review, and then obviously get ready to play and practice. But to Q, you guys are talking about that zone. Q does more than damn run that zone. You know what I'm saying? With Q, man, you trying to prepare, and this is how I learn as a head coach right now. Like, if you can get in, obviously we talked about his zone, but all those presses that they run, all those things that they do, at least he did then out of bounds. He's not going to let you run no damn side out of bounds set. Right? Like all those things, like think about getting ready for somebody. I just talked about 3 days of having to prepare for someone. You can't even get into their sets because you got to work on guarding their damn press and breaking it.
No question.
Right? So so he starts to, as a coach in his system, impact your preparation, because you want to make sure you're taking care of the ball to score before you even start working on their stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because that was the one time, it was Sweet 16 Q, I think the 2019, 2010 WNIT when we played VCU. They beat us, obviously they beat us, but I just remember that being my scout, man, and it was a real tough scout.
Got you. And that goes a lot into it, right, Q? Like, you want to take their preparation time away, and you can work.
There's no question.
I got you.
There's no question, because I can tell you right now, man, if you can try to find some ways to, like you said, make the prep tough, or make them prep for things they don't normally see. A lot of teams that don't see pressing off of on side-out situations. They don't see pressing off missed free throws.
Mm-hmm.
They don't see a lot of you in a 2-3 zone. You got it packed in, and then after the short clock, you go mad. Those are things that you can try to do to impact the game and try to get a competitive advantage. And that's been something that honestly I can tell you, being a head coach for a length of time, and but also too having Vonn Reid, man,
Yeah.
because Vonn challenges you every day, man, to really say, Vonn is that guy. Well, I would do this. Then what you gonna do if they do that?
Mm-hmm.
So he's made me such a better coach, and he's made me think the game. And I'll be honest with you, man. Every day with Vonn is a coach's clinic, man. I go in his office every day, man. Show me something. I go in and just say, show me something.
Yeah.
Tell me something, or show me something that I'm doing that we can, add something to it and make it better. I think as a head coach, when you have someone like Vonn, or someone that has a lot of knowledge, you got to let them, feed into what you do and to help your system.
Absolutely. We talked about the importance of having people like that in your program. And
absolutely.
I even thought Vonn, he was down in Orlando. He worked with D Brown when I was working in Orlando as a high school coach and working with D. And I get on the horn with Vonn all the time. He's just a great basketball mind, man. And if you guys don't know, Vonn Reid is the associate head coach at Syracuse. Worked with Syracuse. He's been there. How long? He's been there with you?
Shoot, I think Vonn Reid now going on about 10 years, man. And I ain't afraid to say it, man. Vonn is probably responsible for 2 contract extensions for me, my friend.
No question.
Because he's been amazing, man. And I tell you, man, every spring, I look around and say, man, hope I got better, because he's gonna get a great opportunity one day and he's gonna kill it.
Yep. Coach Six, talk about those mental lapses, man, that you've had from your players, man, and how you get them to retain that stuff.
This is some years ago. We down at South Carolina State, and they got a kid. I can't remember what the kid's name is. Left-hand kid. Rob might remember who the kid is. And she's knocking down shots. I got a kid named Malia Tate Friedis.
You gonna just say, man?
I got to take her out.
That's because she's all-time great. Go ahead,
no
Six.
question. Go ahead.
So I got to take Malia out. So I put this kid, Lauren Johnson, in. I said, now, Lauren, look, run off the 3-point line. Don't let her hit no threes or nothing like that. Make sure you run off the line, Crowder and all that. So Lauren goes out there. Girl hits a 3. I said, okay. Girl hits another 3. Girl hits 3 threes. I call timeout. I said, Lauren, I just told you to run the girl off the line and whatever. She called all of us into a huddle. So we all leaned in like this, and we thought she was gonna say something. She said, well, the ref is calling it kind of tight right now, so I just thought I would give her something. Tim Valentine said, get her ass out of there. Get her, she out there tap dancing. Get her out of there, man.
Oh, God.
Oh,
she really had a moment that day. She called us into a huddle, the whole team.
Y'all, everybody, y'all bring it in.
We all leaned in. She said, the ref calling it kind of tight. So, I'm just giving her a little space or whatever.
Oh, my God.
On that bench.
Oh, my goodness.
That was my mental freeze moment for a kid.
Oh, man.
Oh, my goodness. Coach Brooks, we got, it's kind of set in. Especially with us, our kids have been here since July, straight through, right? And the monotony of workouts, classes, et cetera, has started to hit kids in our program. What are some things you guys have done to break the monotony a bit, if anything?
We're going through it right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'm utilizing my imaginary psychology degree. Look, I don't have one, but I should have one. We got to do, man. And it's, Hughey talked about it. All you guys have talked about it, having your kids on campus. I know 6 hadn't had his on that long, but like it's nothing for them to do. So we're making stuff for them to try to do to keep their interest, to keep them going. I had a conversation today. I told them, I said, look, we got 2 buses now. We got the fast bus and we got the slow bus. I said, you figure out which bus you want to be on, because the only people on that fast bus is going to be the one that's playing. I said, everybody on that slow bus, you're not going to be on that. You're not going to be playing. And because right now, you know, I think what's really setting in is it's not playtime. It's not playtime. You know, in the summertime we were just working out. Everybody was good to be back. You know, kumbaya, happy, and you know now we're starting to work towards something. Right. And they don't understand that right now, and that's why you got to start separating. And that's what's happening to us right now. I was Dr. Phil today, but I was laying it out there to him. And when I get in my Dr. Phil moment, sometimes I'm funny. And so I was saying some good stuff today. I was laughing at myself as I was saying. You ever get to the point where you say something real good and you like, man, that was good right there.
Right. They might not think you're funny, but you chuckling inside. It don't matter.
Hey, you tickle yourself, you know. But
they be scared to laugh.
Hey,
listen, they be scared to laugh. They like, did I laugh at this one? Because they don't know what's gonna set you off.
Hey man. But that's where we are, man. It's a struggle right now, but you know, we're getting through it. We got some good leadership, and it gets to a point where we're starting to. I think the kids are starting to figure out, okay, if I want to be in that rotation, I need to start doing what she's doing or what she's doing. So, and before I stop, too, man, I want to give my little Vonn Reid, thing too, man. That dude is unbelievable. Look, I worked real hard. I mean, real hard, 2 years trying to give that dude a great recommendation so he can get the hell out my league. Because, you know, but fantastic, man. You know, we all here to support each other. And that's a brother right there that needs an opportunity, because he does a fantastic job, man. Fantastic job.
Coach Hughey, talk about how what are you guys doing to break up the monotony, man?
Pressing. Running his guarding people, ain't let nobody get a touch.
Standing film at 1 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
Hey man, I can't help it, man. Hey man, if y'all need to go and get this app, man. It's called Home Court.
We sponsoring that. You giving shout outs on this boy.
Hey, I'm telling you, man, UVA men use it.
Uh-huh.
It's called Home Court. It costs $20 a year.
Uh-huh.
So we sign all our kids up for Home Court. It takes all their individual workouts. You ain't got to worry about nobody being in the gym, because only thing they got to do is take their phone, put it on a $20 tripod, put it at half court, and it records the whole workout. So when they get done with the workout, shooting on a gun, whatever it is, it takes it all in. It measures the arc, the release time, the shots on the floor, the damn percentage each shot. I don't care if they shoot a free throw, a layup. I don't care if you got somebody passing the ball to them. It got dribbling workouts on it.
I get on my phone right now, Home Court. I ain't messing with you. I'm getting it.
My kids are going crazy with this thing. We got it on Monday. We loaded everything up on Tuesday, and they've been in the gym like this, man. They ain't even want to play pickup. They all want to just get their own shots and everything in on their workout on the home app, man.
That's nice, man.
It's so great, man. I'm telling you. It's $300 for my whole staff and 15 of my players. And so they've been doing that like crazy, and it comes right to your phone. You can follow them, they follow you. It's a little app, man. I'm gonna try to see if I can show y'all. But man, it's awesome, man.
So you know who's worked out and what workout they did and all that.
All of it, man. I don't know if y'all can see that or not.
That sophisticated background on that. We can't see what.
Yeah, man.
Come on, Hughey, man. We can't see that, man.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, it's great, man. It's great.
We have to take your word for it.
Yeah, man.
Hughey
pump faking us. Stay down, dog. Hughey pump faking us.
Hey, I'm telling you, my kids been loving it, man. So they've been in there getting shots up. So, like next week, we put everybody got to come in by the end of the week, have 750 makes. We're gonna take that to 850. All that. I got a couple of kids that's already at 600, and they only been doing that 2 days.
Nice.
So that's what we've been doing to kind of break things up, man. We got that, and they've been in there like crazy, man.
Good.
They've been like crazy.
Like that. Appreciate that, Hughey. I'm gonna get all on that.
No
yeah,
doubt.
man.
No doubt. $20, you can't beat that. And this for the year. I was like, $20 a month?
Yeah.
Man, you can't eat at Popeyes for $20 no more.
No
dog.
question.
I just came in there yesterday, $21, but I had Enoch with me. Enoch got like 2 number 6s. So
Hey, Coach Hughey.
I gotta tell you,
on a serious note, your program had a march this past weekend in Houston, man. And fighting for social injustice. How did it go, and what did it do for your kids, man?
Man, it was tremendous for us just because, you know, the student athletes put it together.
Okay.
They did all of it, the route, you know, who they wanted to come and speak. They wanted NAACP there. They wanted people voting there. I mean, all kind of stuff. And so we went there to support them.
Nice.
So the thing that was so great, every single team was there, every single administrator except for our president, who was out on a prior engagement. Our AD, everybody was there, and we just marched, man. You know, it was the Black Lives Matter thing because, you know, nobody wants to say Black Lives Matter. They don't want to put it on stuff and all that. So we went and bought our shirts, all other players, all that, and we did it, man. And it was tremendous for us because one of my kids who's a senior, her name is Julia Blackshear Fair, soft-spoken kid, real athletic, all that kind of stuff, but she had to speak at it. And just because she was one of the ones that helped organize it as well. And it gave such a testimony to our team, you know, because I'm talking to them about having a voice all the time. I say, because when you get in this world, when you start looking at the statistics, they're going to say, men get this, and this is what the women's salary is. You're going to be like, but we're doing the same job, and we get the same thing. I'm like, uh-huh. So that's why I'm trying to tell you to have a voice to speak up for yourself now, things you believe in, those kind of things like that. So when Julia got up there and did that, now they're like, okay, Coach, now we see what you're saying. And I'm like, yeah, because I need for y'all to get this thing, man. Because again, we came from a place of suppression where people didn't want us to say things. So we had to fight through that. Now y'all got a double negative. You're Black and being a woman in certain areas. They feel that way. So again, that's what I'm trying to get them to understand. And so when those kids led that, man, it was tremendous, man. Tremendous.
Got
it was
good stuff, man.
Yeah, man. But I gotta tell y'all how Q changed me, man.
Oh, look at that.
I was at South Carolina State, man, my second year. I met Q on the road. He was recruiting. He was in the gym. We were both in the gym. And Q was doing his scout at the same time. So I said, Q, what you doing? He said, man, I'm doing a scout, man. He said, I got to send this back to coach. Coach getting ready to go into practice and all that kind of stuff. I said, ain't nobody else back there to do it. Q said, I do the scout, I do the recruiting, I do the player development, and nobody gonna ever put me on no box. You got to make a sacrifice for what you want.
Man, yeah.
I love it.
So
I know, man.
I was standing there talking, and the phone rung. It was Q's wife. He was staying in Alabama in the dorm. They were living in the dorm. So I said, Q, really? He said, yeah, man. He said, if you don't get no sacrifice, man, if you can't make a sacrifice, you're not going to ever get what you want.
Damn.
Wow.
And so, man, I was dumbfounded, bruh. I said, from that day on, I'm making sacrifices, and I'm learning to do everything across the board. Everything across the board. That conversation with Q in there recruiting, doing the scout, having his wife in the dorm, on the phone, all this kind of stuff. I was like, she at home taking care of stuff, getting all that. Q was like, nah, they're in the dorm. That's where we live.
Yep.
I was like, wow.
No question. No question. And when you start, even you know, you, Hughey, Coach Rob, Coach Brooks, you know, where you were at, Coach Six especially, and you too, Q, like, when you're a high school coach or a low major Division I coach, and you got to do everything, and you got to drive the bus, and you got to watch the uniforms, and you got to do all that stuff, it makes you appreciate it. And then nobody can tell you, no, I can't do that. I did it. You know what I mean?
No question.
So I think That's a huge. So all just the high school coaches that's listening, or the AAU coaches that's listening, or the up and coming coaches who are GAs, that you learn how to do everything. It'll help you be a better leader. You learn how to sacrifice. It's gonna help you be a better leader of your program. So I just think a lot of people that are in this profession that don't have to go through that haven't had to do that, it's a shock to them when they get in certain situations, and especially at high level jobs, right? When you ain't gotta do all that, when you don't have to be the recruiter, you just got one job, it kind of puts you in a box. So you want to take on as much as you can so that you can be successful in all aspects.
Yeah, I talk to Q assistants. I talk to Q assistant more than he do. Enard and Vonn, I call every day. I call most of the time. Him and Enard walk in or going somewhere and all that. I'm with Q. I'm like, all right, let me call Vonn. I go back and forth.
Hey, listen, man. Me and E trying to get right, man. Cause y'all must have us in polo shirts this year. We gotta get right.
Hey, y'all in the weight room.
Yeah, right. You gotta listen. You might not can't cover that thing up with no jacket this year. NBA dudes got on polo. I'm like, oh, right.
Right. No question.
Yeah.
No question.
Bump your size up, get them doubles or something. Like,
Oh my God.
Coach Six. Listen, man, you become, and it's warranted, but you become the biggest advocate for Bam Adebayo right now for the Heat in the country right now, right?
Trying to be his agent, man.
And the past couple weeks he's been out of his mind with his performance. Why is he such a key piece to the Heat and as good as advertised, man?
I think because he can do whatever's required. He's like a Swiss Army knife. He can pass. If he needs to be able to shoot it, he can shoot it. He can defend. He's athletic. So he fits in and meshes well with everything they trying to do. If he needs to go down on a block, he can do that. And he makes timely shots, man. When they need a bucket or whatever, he turn around, hit a 15-footer or whatever. Like I said, I think he's the most underrated player in the NBA. I mean, he is really. Miami couldn't have done what they did without Bam Adebayo.
No question. If Whiteside is in that spot, they don't do that, right?
No, you don't have the versatility that Bam has.
No question.
You don't have the dog.
Bam will switch out on the guard.
Right. And that's what you got to do now in the league. I just looked at a graphic. They had the shots in the playoffs in year 2000, and they had some mid-range. They had some short corner shots in there, and they had some, a couple threes from the wing. Man, in 2020, that thing on the perimeter is lit up, right? It's lit up on the perimeter and at the rim, right? Now, that's part of the reason why, and I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about this, Coach Q. It's part of the reason why the scores be in the 130s, 140s. Why? Because people could get buckets now, and they trying to get the easiest shots and the high percentage shots so they can get scores. I remember you guys were getting ready to play. I want to say Albany, Coach Q, and you were in the press conference. This is in the NCAA tournament. You was in the press conference, and you said, for the NCAA tournament game, you said the reporter asked about their zone, and you said if they zone us, we're gonna shoot 53s, right? Talk about talk about why and why analytics plays a big part in your program.
Man, listen, we just got a basketball education today, literally in a classroom from Vonn Reid, and I will never forget this day, man. I was in my office and Vonn walked in and said, man, we gotta start really gearing everything we do towards points per possession. And if y'all know, I know Hughey know, and y'all talk to Vonn. When Vonn bring you something, he ain't bring it to you. He bring it to you with a whole book So you can't
Exactly.
even dispute it.
100 clips.
You can't dispute it. So when he brought it to me, he said, listen, layups are like 0.9, right? Free throws are 1.4. Threes, 1.6, whatever it was, right? So he said, if we want to compete at a high level, we got to really focus on the analytics of the game and points per possession. So he said, man, we got to find some three-point shooters and we got to shoot the three. So I said, hell with it, we'll shoot all threes then. Listen, tell me one time. You know, you got to tell me one time. So we went out and started recruiting different, man. We started trying to recruit shooters, athletes, so we can press and run and shoot the three. Man, the analytics of the game and the points per possession all tilt towards shooting the three, shooting layups. Mid-range shots are the worst shots in the game. It's so funny because I watch games now. And I watch how many NBA guys miss elbow jump shots in one game. I watched it and I charted them. I texted to my kids right when the game was over. I said, I watched the best players in the world miss 13 mid-range shots. And they're the best in the world. So if we shoot those, we got a problem. We ain't the best in the world. So we just really focused on points per possession. We focus on just player efficiency, showing the players when certain shots they take, you know what I'm saying, that the efficiency number is way down.
Right.
And like our post players, they are like a 0.9, and our perimeter players are like at a 0.8. So now the closer you get to one, as you want 1 point per possession. And Vonn got me thinking differently about the whole thing. How many ways can we get corner threes and uncontested threes? Unsettled situations, right? You know, you get a steal, you get numbers, shoot the three. You gonna get the rebound. You got numbers. You reverse it, skip it, shoot another one, right? You know, can you get players just getting clean catches, catch and shoot opportunities with their feet still? So those are the things, man, that Vonn has really incorporated into our style of play. And honestly, man, we went to the Final Four. In the championship game, we shot the lowest percentage in women's basketball history from the Sweet 16 to the championship game in women's basketball history. But we were getting 25 possessions more per game because of our pressure.
Right.
And force a turnover. So we say anything we're plus, anything over that number, if we both get 50 shots, all right, we both hit 50. If we get 22 more shots, we want the 22 shots to be threes. So now, if we can make 30% of those, we win them games by 18, 20 points. So Vonn changed my whole way of thinking, man. If a kid misses an elbow jump shot, we coming to get him.
You gotta go. You're gonna hit a horn.
If a kid put the ball on the floor twice and she raising up, I'm looking for a sub just in case. But now our kids understand what shots we want. And I say, hey, listen, you can take any shot you want. When you shoot that one, you better make that one.
Right.
And it starts to really change their mindset. And now when you can change their mindset with clips, with stats, with tangible numbers, and then talk about who's in the league and who's not, it changes everything, because the WNBA and the NBA, like they always say now, right, it's a make or miss league.
Right.
And that's what it is. So the shots you're going to miss the most are mid-range shots, so we try not to take them.
I got you. So listen, this is for everybody. We'll start with you, Coach Brooks. Because I'm going to start with you and Q, because y'all in the ACC have brought this on now, right? The men in the ACC have brought this on. We got the NCAA is getting ready to go into some meetings about our season coming up. And one of the things, I know Jeff Capel has been a big proponent of this, and I know a lot of men's basketball programs in the ACC, they brought this to the head. NCAA tournament, having every team in the NCAA in the NCAA tournament. What are your thoughts on that, Coach Brooks?
I think, man, it's an unconventional year. There's not going to be anything normal about this year. So now why not make it an unconventional tournament? There's not going to be anything normal. I talked to our men's coach, Mike Young, today, and I know Coach K has been spearheading this whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just so much uncertainty because we got a meeting. We're going to have a call here soon, just talking about if they do propose November 25th, what we're going to do. Are we going to have non-conference games? Are we going to go straight to conference games? We've thrown everything around each other. So we've always been focusing about when the start's going to be. Why don't we focus on the end? The end. So I don't think it's a bad idea. I mean, obviously, whatever they tell us to do, but I think that there's some merit to it. You can get in, you can start your conference play at the end. I think it would be kind of neat to have all teams and, 1 through 354 or whatever it is. And it ain't going to take you that much longer, but it's an unconventional year. So I think it's an unconventional idea that could possibly work. And I don't think it would be a bad idea.
Gotcha. Coach Hugh?
Well, the first thing I asked my AD is if we all go, do I get my NCAA bonus?
I was just about to say that.
That's what I was just about
to say that.
So if we all, if I get my bonus, let's do it. Right? Talk about 22 games. I need 20, man. I gotta get 20 W's, man.
Right.
I gotta get this money. Always tease Kenny. Me and Kenny talk. I say, hey man, I got 2 things. I got that Bank of America app on my phone. Right? I check that every day. I tell Kenny, I'm a 7, but I'm a 9 with my money, man.
No question. Hey.
But nah, man.
Hey man, on a serious note, like all 6 of us right here, I tell you, man, don't be afraid to chop it up with each other and call each other when you talk about that contract stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, like I talk to Q all the time. Like I'm going through it right now. And I talk to him and I hit him up, hey man, what you got in your contract? And he'll send me his contract. He'll send me his contract. When you guys go through it, and if you want my contract, hit me up because there's so many things. Like this dude right here, man, he got every contract.
Hey.
Hey man. Hey. If the weather is over 20 degrees in Syracuse, he gets a $10,000 I'm straight up, man. You guys going through. When I left JMU, my contract at JMU, man, was like 2 pages thick, and it was like this and this. And then when I came to Tech, man, that thing was like I needed a lawyer. I don't have an agent, and that thing was thick, and it had so much verbiage in it. I'm like, yo, Q, what's this? Hey, what's this?
And I stayed on the phone about that stuff, man. You know what, man? Because I'm man. Listen, man. Let's really keep this thing a buck, right? You gotta. We all work really hard at what we do, right? We all want a certain level of success. I think with that comes a level of competency on what you should be compensated for.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, man, we put in all these hours of work, we get to these levels of success and don't get unrewarded for them. And so many things that you should be getting compensated for. But as far as being in the tournament, I'm with Kenny. It's good. If the way that we can figure out every student athlete can have the experience of playing in an NCAA tournament, for me is just huge.
Right.
Because there's some low majors and mid majors. You can win 28 games and lose your conference tournament and don't get in. And we can win 19 and get in. So some people would just not have that opportunity just because of a lot of different things. Hey, scheduling. There's some teams that Power 5 just ain't gonna play.
Right.
I wasn't excited about going down to JMU. I got 6 number. He's blocked in my phone, so we ain't playing him ever. Right? So some things are built in where the top mid-major teams have a hard time making the NCAA tournament because you won't get the strength of schedule because you can't schedule, right? And then on top of that, you got to win your conference, and that's where the grind is, man. We can finish in 4th place and know we in, We finish in 5th place, we know we in. 6th place, we know we in. 7th place, you probably in. 8th place, you can go ahead and have a viewing party. That's what it is. So I think the opportunity to get all of your kids an opportunity to play in the NCAA tournament is just amazing. And the one thing I just want to fast forward to when I was fortunate to go to the Final Four and to be in a championship game, man. I never forget, man, my bishop told me, he said, man, you got to find a way to freeze the moment, man, and enjoy where you are. And it's funny because we all been in the Final Fours, and I didn't realize we were there until I heard the national anthem and I heard that lady's voice. That says now for the national anthem, I was like, wow.
Amen.
You start thinking
about
about
you hear
Lord
it all the time. And let me tell you something right now, man. Freeze the moments, man. Yeah, there you go. And enjoy the success and enjoy it with your family, man. I got pictures of my babies and a picture of me holding the trophy, holding it. Like those are things when they get older, they're gonna remember. You know, and you know, always tell people, always tell Kenny has the happiest kids in women's basketball. His daughter hit a 3 and she's giggling going down the corner. I want to trip her up. She in 3, she's happy. And she's giggling. But in that sense, think about how many moments do we have that we can have this moment with our kids. And Kenny's coaching his daughter, and she earned it. And she's in our league because she belongs there. She's one of the best shooters in our conference, and you ain't leaving her. What moments do we have? It's the moments when you have that success, man. Enjoy with your wife and your kids and your families, man, your close friends, man, because ain't too many of those moments, man, that you can really sit back and say, man, we here.
No question.
And when Q's talking about that, man, it is. I remember a couple of episodes back, we talked about family. I think Hughey was really talking about family and his wife and how supportive. And you know, I know we all have supportive families. You know, like coaching my daughter, I'm going to write a book. Write a book. I had 2 of them on roster at one time. Right. And everything that you go through with that, man, I had to learn how to be fair to them. And I mean, hard on my kid. She made a mistake. I was looking at her like, you know better.
I told Kenny's daughter, you ain't got to take that. Get in the portal. You come in, we shoot all 3s. And Kenny did that. I told her, get in the portal.
And then the funny thing is, like my moment came when we were at Boston College, and she was a freshman, and she made 7 threes in one game. She was like rolling, and I'm coaching the next play, and the referee walked up to me and side-eyed. He said, "She must get that from her mother." And at that moment, man, it was like, you know, damn, that is my kid. Right. You know, that is my kid. And so, but Q's right, man. You gotta enjoy it, you know, with your family. I take them on the road with me. My daughters love him. When he called me and they see that it's him, they get all giggly and, you know, all that kind of stuff because it's like family, man. It's family, and introduce them to all this stuff, to this whole business. But he's right, man. You gotta enjoy it.
Gotcha. Coach Hughey, what you think about it, man? This NCAA tournament.
Oh man, I just want to play, bro.
I know that's right.
I just want to play. Right. You know, with all the speculation of this and that, and you know, we was on the call today, and they come up with the number of games we're gonna play for the year, and now we're gonna go from 8 to 12 hours. Then old school, talking about going October 14th first practice, maybe this, that. We're gonna go from 64 in the tournament to maybe 32, or now you don't know, no exhibitions, no scrimmages. I mean, it's just all of this stuff, man. Just let us play, man. Because if not, we're gonna catch purity hell with these kids on campus. Somebody chill out.
You right about that. You right about that.
But my kids gotta go home. If we don't play, you gotta go home. Exactly. I'll tell you right now, it's rough right now. We ain't playing on basketball. I can't say nothing.
Exactly, man. That's what
you gotta go home, man.
Coach Rob.
Now I'm with Hughey, man. I'm with all these guys. It's a unconventional year. I just want to play basketball, and I think these kids need it, you know. And I think the NBA and WNBA have given us some ideas of what to do, and we just got to move forward with it.
No question. Coach Six.
You know, it was interesting that Q said you know, that every kid needs to get to experience the NCAA tournament, and that's true. I just find it interesting that, you know, on my level and Rob's level, you could be 28-5, and 16. You a 16 or 17 seed. You
right.
Play into the tournament. You know what I mean? So I'm with it. I think that everybody needs to get an opportunity to play in it. You know, and like you said, it's an unconventional year, and you know, you got to give these kids something to aspire to. They've been through a lot. You got protests. You got the coronavirus. You right now, life at school is not like it was. You just can't go where you want to go. Let kids have something to aspire to.
Hey guys, think about this though too, and I say this too. I thought about it. Think about now, you got every team in the tournament. Think about how many other kids can now have an opportunity to get drafted. Because now they're playing against the top point guards in the country, the top post players in the country. Now you get somebody off your team six because you got BCS level talent. Come on, both of y'all got BCS level talent. Now you play us, you play Kenny, you play Baylor, and you just watch your point guard get busy. Like that's livelihood, man. That's talking about going to Europe instead of making $30,000, you're making $70,000, or getting into a WNBA camp because now they're there to see Tiana, to see my point guard, and your point guard get up in her. Guess what? They seeing her too. So I think the opportunity. Think about it. We've all been there, you know, playing ball and having the opportunity. I know we all had that moment when we played. That moment when you got in somebody, you're like, yeah. Now you got a chance. That's what it's going to bring too. It's going to bring some teams you would never see coming to play against some. You know, think about it, man. You are a top seed. You're going to play A&T. You're going to play 6. I don't want to do that first. You can go home. And that's they don't understand. But now you got people coming in with chips on their shoulders. I mean, those are the toughest games, man. I remember, man, we played Hughey and them. I called Hughey 2 days before. I said, man, calm down. Let's go get something to eat. Let's go do what we do. Calm down.
Yeah.
Because they was ready to go. You know, and we go play. We played at JMU in the NIT. Kingdom beat us on their floor. It's one of my better teams. And the crowds and the band, man, we played at JMU. Kenny's hecklers was heckling us 2 hours prior to the game. We lost. I was driving back to DC, and it was one dude in the band still out there by my car. Go home, coach. I said, hey, man, you better go ahead, man. Seriously, this is enough. It's been 6 hours, bro. We done here. But until you experience that, and he had players going WNBA, it's going to be bananas if everybody get in the tournament, and I would like to see it.
I love it. All right. Well, good. We got Coach Rob, you talked a little bit about how you guys go about preparation for games. Take us through, are you a big, long scouting report guy that you give to your team? Do you give long scout reports? Do you give just enough information that they can retain? How do you go about doing that?
Nah, man, we give them as much as we feel like they need to prepare for the win. Again, you got different levels of teams you're playing. Again, I just talked about you're playing the Syracuse, that you got to prepare for their press as well as their sets. You know, so it's up to us or my coaching staff to watch a ton of film. And we try to, and I'm going to use this, and it's unintentional, we try to dummy it down, you know what I'm saying, for our kids. They're not us.
Right.
You know, we try to make it simple for us, but that goes back to, you know, having your principles, having your things in place. We already understand how we guard on balls. We already understand how we guard block to block, so on and so forth. So we focus on the things that team does best to try to take them out of. As I said, we start 3 days before. We watch a lot of film. You know, I think these young people need to see that. Besides being on the court, they need the answer of why we're doing it. You know what I'm saying? They need to see that. So we do as much as possible. to scout teams. Sometimes the scout is long, sometimes it's not, just based on our preparation and what we teach as far as our principles.
Yeah, because we went into this season, and like for the past 5 years, man, we gave the kids the actual play diagrams, right? And they're not looking at that, right? They don't care nothing about that. How do we guard this action in live, or how do we guard this? If I'm watching on film, what do I need to do? And when I'm on the floor, how do I need to do that? So I told my assistants, like, don't put them diagrams in there, because they're not looking at them.
Yeah,
right?
We don't do diagrams either. Yeah.
We took those out, man. And a lot of times we go about thinking that the kids are us, but they're not us. You know what I mean? Like, they players. They want to play, right? So you got to find ways to make it easy for them to play. So that's good. What about you, Coach Brooks? What do you guys do as far as scouting reports are concerned?
We feel like we give them as much as I think they can handle.
Okay.
But we don't want to. And, T-Rob, your expression is right. We dummy it down.
Mm-hmm.
We dummy it down and give them. But like, go back what Q does. Q and I talk a lot. He says he plays a lot of zones, so he don't have to go over anybody else's play.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we gotten to the point where we really focus on us. Now we'll hit you up. We'll know what you do. We'll know your main sets and what you're going to do. Then we rely on principles, but we really focus on what we want to do. Because if we're trying to know what Syracuse is doing on Thursday, then I got to know what Notre Dame is doing on Sunday, and I got to know what Carolina's doing on Thursday, and I got to know what Duke is doing on the net. It's too much for the kid. It's too much.
How you gonna know what we doing?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
If you worry about what everybody else doing, how you gonna know what we doing? So I'm with you.
And to your point, man, I played for one of the legends, Lefty Driesell, and I remember that dude used to be yelling at us like, why do you know that triple screen was coming, this and that? And I'm like, you sitting over there watching the play develop. I'm in the mix. All right. I got 10 dudes setting screens off. I'm trying to get around. I'm in the mix. And so when I got to be a coach, I started yelling at, why you ain't? And I'm like, wait a minute, man. So I remember I used to be a player too.
Yep.
And like one of you guys just said, they want their players.
Yep.
Players and they 18 to 22-year-olds who don't watch basketball. They play it, but they don't watch it. So they don't really understand it. So we got to be cognizant of that and make sure we don't give them too much to be thinking about, because then they can't run around and do the things we want them to do because they're thinking too much.
Right. And if they are watching basketball, they're not watching what we need them to watch, right? If they watching the game, they're not watching things that's going to help them as far as off the ball. They'll watch Kennedy Carter or Enrique just go get buckets, right? But they're not seeing, the screen that Messiman's setting for the Mystics. They're not seeing how she's, clearing the lane and making sure she's getting in the right spot and spacing correctly. So that's some stuff that's our job, right? And that's what we have to do. So I'm with you on that. What about you guys, Coach Hughey? You're on mute, boss.
Gotcha, man. The dog was barking, man. we simplified across the board, man. So like I tell our kids, we're a system team. It don't matter what everybody else do.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody come down the floor, they're going to pass it to the left or the right. They're going to dribble it to the left or the right, or they're going to try to throw elbow entries. Mm-hmm. So if we lock up those spots, we know what we're doing on those things. We're trying to take those away. They cross screen, they already know. You go high, I bump lower and take it. If they cross screen, down screen, I'm getting in the back, running up there. So when I was at Florida State, I watched Stan Jones get prepared to play Duke with Florida State. And, Leonard Hamilton was right there. And I said, Ham, you going to go out on the floor? He said, Stan got it. Mm-hmm. And it was like camp. They had 3 or 4 at each basket. Mm-hmm. And all the set stuff they was getting ready to go through. He said, we want to take away 4 things. We want to take away elbows. We want to take away wings. We want to take away reversals. And we want to take away, I don't know, Duke had somebody that wanted to go to the right block all the time. And we want to take away the right block. And that's all it worked on. 4 different baskets, rotating the kids, all that. They beat them at Florida State. Wow. I got to stand the next day. He said, before you come here with all them questions, it take a long time to get there. It take a long time to get there. You ain't gonna get there overnight. We'll start, but I'll show you how to get there over time. And so that's how we start developing, because again, I can't guard Kenny with all that running through, underneath, back out. Terrell with all the misdirection, passing to the elbow, screen over here. You know, Q with all that, him and Vonn, they're gonna rescreen, slip, slide the post. We just don't know what we're gonna do. When the ball go to that side, we're getting on the top side, we ain't letting you reverse it.
No
We're
question.
gonna drive to the baseline, we're gonna take our chances. And we start rotating from there.
No question. No question. Coach Six.
Yeah, I think that what Candy said in terms of principles, like I said on an earlier episode, you know, each of us speak a different language to our team.
Right.
And so what we try to do is orchestrate what's going to happen. It's not if it's going to happen, it's when this happens. When this happens, we're going to do this. When this happens, we're going to do this. When this happens, we're going to do this. And you know, kind of what Hughey said, we try to take away certain things. We're not going to let you do this. We're not going to let you do that. And when we take that away, we expect you to try to do something else, and we orchestrate our defense based on that.
I love it.
You know, we're going to rotate based on that.
Now talk about having a different language. Coach Q, we played you guys. You came to our place, and of course I had you scout both times, right? You came to our place and played when you was here, and you ran a lot of 4-low ball screen stuff. It was a set every possession. It was a set every possession. Then the next year we go up to play you, and you had changed everything up. You had went more to a free flowing style because you felt like you had players that could play in a free wheeling. And I think that's the team that ended up going to the NCAA tournament, right? I mean, ended up going to the NCAA final. And I still remember to this day, they was on the free throw line, and you guys get ready to run your stuff, and you said something like 6:56 Cowboys, quick. And I was like, my player looked at me, the player looked at me, they was like, what is Cowboy quick? What is 65 Cowboy quick? And I'm like, that's their language. It's probably just a couple actions, man, that they got going on. And talk about how that developed and that language developed. It's more of it's a football language that you guys have almost, right? Talk about how it developed.
First thing, man, we do on the first 2 weeks they on campus is we teach them our terminology. We teach them our terminology, all right? If we call slips, slides, rips, chest, all those are different actions. Once you learn our terminology and learn the actions, we can run them out of any set. We can run them out of a 4-low. We can run them out of a box. We can run them out of a 1-4 high. We can run them out of a 5-out. We can start running them out of a 5-out because Kenny beat the hell out of me twice. And I said, I'm gonna start doing that. Right? So your terminology will allow you to do a lot of things. And that's what we are, a big terminology team. But as far as scouting, man, I'm gonna be honest with you. I got the best business, and Vonn gonna know your blood type. I mean, we can get ready to play whoever, and Vonn gives me a play call sheet 3 days prior to the game of all the calls, and I ain't lying. It could be like 70 things on there, right? And the good and the bad of it is, when you have it, you can do as much as you want, or do as little as you want, right? So for us, the terminology is reversed for us. It allows us to concentrate more on you than on us, because we have our terminology and the things we're gonna do offensively. We know that. Defensively, we got our terminology and we got certain things we're gonna do in our zone, just like you guys do with our principles. But we figure if we can guard the actions, now it's up to our players to guard the player. So we got terminology: guard the action, you got to guard the player. So we do a lot of film work Honestly, man, before we play a team, we watch film about 6 times with our team. We watch a lot of film, and we'll go through 15 zone sets, 15 OBs straight through, and we've seen them. So now after we've seen them, now we can go back and say, okay, we're gonna go over this 30% on what we know we're gonna see.
Right.
And that comes from just Vonn's background, being in the NBA, being in WNBA, being in the D League, because he is so thorough, man. Vonn Reid, and I'm not lying, and Hughey can vouch for this. Vonn Reid, when he gets our schedule, and it sounds crazy, but it's the truth. He watches every game the team played the year before we play them. He watched 31 games times 29.
Yep.
And I'm gonna tell you something right now. You make the first pass, and he telling me what the action is. And that's just from having him. I can't take no credit for that, man. And I give Vonn all the credit for that, for our game prep. Vonn does every scout. He does all the game prep. I sit down and let him do it because as head coaches, we have the tendency to want to interject.
No question.
We want to add, but he is the master. So he's the head coach of the game prep. And you get somebody that's that talented and is that brilliant, man, you got to let him do it. And I was the same way. I didn't want to give him too much. He said, give it to him. Give it to him. And if 3 people can get it, they can help your players on the court. So we're probably the reverse way. We probably over prep. But I think that when our kids move on, they know a lot of basketball from the just from the game prep. I still know calls from teams from the Big East because we played them so much, and I got their play call sheets. So for each his own, but for me, because I think that's our strength of having the best in the business on game prep, we do a whole lot, man, and you'll be surprised how much they retain because I always tell them, man, that bench is a cure-all, man. They start to figure it out. But everybody on this phone and on this podcast has had a whole lot of success, man, the way they do it. And we just got a whole different – we do positional scouts. We do a post scout and a guard scout on tendencies. That's our breakdowns before practice. Guard post is a guard scout, post scout. So now when we bring them together, we really ain't got to talk tendencies because they've already done that in the breakdown. So that's worked good for us because Vonn is a lot, but he's so good that it's simple.
Right.
So that's just kind of, how we do it.
And
in
the
your
reason why because I was just getting ready to ask you, are they still doing that? Because Vonn, when he was in WNBA, was in charge of ATOs. And he told me, said he had to have up to 70 a night every time they played. And they started the scouts just like he was talking about, because had to have guards know their tendencies, post know that, because D Brown didn't want to switch.
Right.
So it's like you had to know your own stuff. And so he had to get it all prepared. And he said he had to have ATO 70 every time going on down the line.
Man, Vonn has me a binder. If we play on Thursday, he has me a binder on Monday. On Monday mornings, man, I'm running from Vonn. Because I know that he already had me this binder. But you know what it does, though, man? He works so hard at it. It makes me learn it. It makes me better because I don't want to let him down. All that work, if I get beat on a quick hitter, I look back at him, he ain't saying nothing. He look at me like, it's there.
It's in the binder.
Look on page 87.
Right.
But that's what it is, man. Everybody has their strengths in coaching and their strengths on their staff. And I can tell you, just like if we play Kenny and those guys, they run a lot of action, a lot of ball screens down there in the deep corners. A lot of people ain't got a lot of coverage for that. Right. So that's made us better. We had to get principles now for guarding deep corner. you know, action on ball screens. You know, playing against Kenny, we had to be able to really guard 5 out in our zone. And we had to stop switching so much, because if we switch with Kenny gonna put it out, you know, attack a matchup. So I think you get better when you coach against brilliant coaches. And I always say, you know, I coached at American, I coached at Siena, and they were some of the best coaches in the country, because they got to get their players shots. We can get the ball to Tiana and move. You know, sometimes at other levels, you got to get shots, and you guys are amazing at getting players wide open shots. So it's just your strengths, man.
I got it.
It's good stuff. It's good stuff, Q. Good stuff, man.
Really good. Really good. Well, all right, guys. We come to look at Hughey. Hughey like,
damn, man.
You know,
damn.
Man, you keep adding people, but we ain't adding time.
Yeah, I ain't coming back no more, man. This ain't long enough.
Hey, we could be on here all night, man. If you
I
want.
know.
We could be on here all night, man. But
You ain't gonna text you anyway.
no question. We gonna talk tonight.
Yeah.
Facts.
Man. One more thing I wanted to talk about. This is a real question that I have for you guys. As far as on your staff, let's talk about skill or talent, right? This is a coaching piece though, right? Let's go skill or talent. Recruiting, being a good recruiter. Is that a skill or is that a talent? I'm going with
Talent. Talent.
That's a talent, okay?
Talent.
Talk to me about that. What you got, Rob?
Talent.
6.
I'm gonna say skill because we gotta get certain kids.
Okay.
You know, so you gotta have that skill to be able to take her glasses off and oh, she's pretty
that's
good.
Evaluation now. That's evaluation. So I'm talking about recruiting. Now, evaluation is part of recruiting.
You already identify the 6.
If you put it that way, you say talent. If you put it that way.
Okay.
And when you say recruiting, you talking about locking down a really good kid,
a really right.
Now you're talking about talent. That's talent.
Okay.
Yeah.
What you got, Coach Q?
I want to hear this.
You want me?
Yeah. I want you. What you got? Skill or talent?
He don't know the game.
Oh, okay. This is the game. Is it a skill or is it a talent? Whatever I'm asking you. So is being a top-notch recruiter, is that a skill? Is that something that you can work to get better at, or is that a talent?
Talent.
No question.
It's a 100% talent, because let me tell you something right now. We can all get somebody on the phone. But now once you get them on the phone, can you get that point across to, think about it. We're talking to 16 and 17-year-old girls. You got to get that across in 3 minutes. Because after that, they done tuned you out.
Yep.
And you got to grab them right away. If you don't grab them right away, they done narrow their list down next day and you ain't on it. And you thought your conversation went great.
Yep.
Talent, 100%.
Yeah.
Coach Brooks.
I appreciate you letting me go last, because you helped shape my my answer.
Here you go.
I think it's a talent, man. I really do. You know, somebody said it. You know, a skill. You can get them on the phone. You know,
no question.
But can you keep their attention? Can you capture their attention? Can you make them laugh? Can you make them like you? Right. I think that's talent. Because everybody can talk, but can you make them like you? I think that's a talent.
I agree wholeheartedly with everybody, man. It's a talent, no question. And sometimes it's a talent with a fit. Right. So like they may be from you may be from like me. I'm from Miami. I know what that vibe is like down there. So I might have a talent, but I might not be able to recruit in Montana now. I can't go get Montana. So it goes hand in hand with that too. But I agree. Let's talk about this. All right, on the coaching side as well. Let's talk about adjustments in game, skill or talent. What you got, Hughey?
And I think it's a skill.
Okay.
and I'm using myself as an example because I was lost when I first started. and now I can kind of be able to see some things before it happened, or experience has taught me, oh, hell, it's happening again. You better get out in front of it. And I can jump in and do some things like that. But again, it come from playing Q, it come from playing, you know, Kenny and that kind of stuff, and seeing them do it to me, and going back and watching over and over and over, and then being able to see that adjustment, that kind of stuff, and then watching the games and stuff, you know. But I definitely think it's a skill.
Yep, that experience make sure you fine tune that skill, don't it? You get baptized a couple times, you figure it out. You figure it out.
Quick.
Coach Rob, what you got?
I'm about to pull a Coach Brooks, man.
Okay.
I'm gonna say both, because I think, yeah, you can learn from different experiences, man, but there's something about the moment. You know what I'm saying? It's something about that moment being, you know, slowing down and being able to make the right decision to get the dub. I think that's what we're talking about, right?
Yep.
You know, so I think it's a little bit of both. I think, yeah, you definitely can learn from experience, but those moments are moments. We don't know that kid's gonna give up that 3. Right now, what you're gonna do now that the kid is disappointed you now that you're down 1, and now we can time out and advance the ball. What you gonna call, coach? You know what I'm saying? Like, now it comes down to being in that moment and being able to make the right choice and make the right decision, make the right call. I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not that talented in that area. Right? I'd be so pissed at that kid. Give it up. For giving up that damn shot and putting that pressure on me. I'm like, man, shit. So now I gotta figure out to win the game, huh? You know, so but yeah, I definitely think it's both though.
Got you.
Coach Brooks.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, for the record, that's Hughey that be saying both all the time. I play the game right. Right. You know, I think it's a skill. I think we're all talented. You know, we wouldn't be at this position if we weren't. Right. But I think what makes us all, you know, what we are, I think is skill. Because like Hughey said, you learn from your experiences. I remember the first time, man, I ever coached. I was a head coach. Well, I'll take it back. I was an assistant on the men's side, and my head coach got a technical foul. All right. So he was walking away from the referee to call it technical, but he was walking towards another referee, and he was cussing him. And he got another technical. And before I could jump up, I'm like, "Yo, coach, chill." And I'm like, "Oh, damn, I got a coach now." All right. So this is on the men's side. We're at the University of Richmond. We're playing. And I remember standing up, and all of a sudden, I'm like, damn, it's hot up here. Armpits, I'm sweating. I mean, I got sweat rolling down my back to my butt. I felt like everybody was coming at me like, yo, what you want to do here? What play you want to run? You want to do this? What you want to do? I mean, I was like, yo, what is this? Like a bad dream. I was like, I had no idea, man. And then, you know, from experiences, you put in the hard work, you learn from your mistakes, you keep doing that, and I think it becomes a skill. Skill.
No question. Coach Q, you come from the old Big East, right? The old Big East where it was some gorillas. You got Peretta, you got everybody was in there, man. Yeah. Pitt, it was everybody was in there, man. And you got C. Viv, we
had Muffet, we had Mike Carey, Terry when she was at Georgetown. Yeah. Man, listen, man, you can go down. Man, it was. First of all, it was scary. Because you can get about like 40, like 2 weeks. You know what I'm saying? You can do about 40 for 2 weeks. And honestly, I'm going the other way. I think it's talent. I'm gonna tell you why I think it's talent. Because I think that we're all skilled. Right. I think that we're all good coaches. We may not coach the same way, but I think that we're all good coaches at what we do. And the one reason I think we're all good coaches, we're all on this call talking as head coaches. Right. So we're all good coaches, right? So I think we're all skilled. I think it's talent, because what happens is once everybody's skilled, talent takes over. Now, are you talented enough to call a game and to make a feel for how it's going? right?
Mm-hmm.
You may even you may go to a game thinking we're gonna beat them on this misdirection action,
Right.
and now you in that last part of the game, and it becomes talent. And I'm gonna give you a really good example,
Mm-hmm.
and it's Kenny. We're playing Kenny in the ACC tournament. We're up 15, going to take the last 10 minutes of the game, and they beat us by like 16.
Mm.
It was one of the craziest runs that I've ever been a part of on either side.
Mm.
And the reason why I say it's talent, because Kenny went away from everything that he's done since I've known him and played a totally different style for like 12 minutes, and they blew us out.
Mm.
That took talent. That wasn't about the skill, because we battling back and forth, and they were just missing shots. He started getting different shots off the same sets, but just different. That's, to me, man, that's talent. Because are you talented enough to now make a decision, and are you courageous enough to make the decision?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna tell you, man, it was, and the crazy part about it is that when the game was over, I'm in my locker room, and obviously we going home. So I'm in there, I'm getting undressed. Kenny walks in, and he sits down, and he goes, "Man, I just had a feel that we had to make a change,
Mm-hmm.
and I just did it, and it worked."
Mm-hmm.
Right, Kenny?
Made it up because Vonn knew everything we were damn doing.
Right.
And Kenny stopped verbally calling his sets,
Uh-huh.
and they start running it off the entries.
Mm.
That's talent, man.
Yeah.
Because the skill he's done, I think, I'm putting myself in it, is probably unmatched with anybody on it. Because Kenny, been the head coach, I think he's probably one of the longest tenured on this call.
Right.
I think. But that was just Kenny just doing something that he had. Like never. Vonn closed his book. And what Vonn said to me on the sideline was, I think Vonn, he said, Kenny opened up another book.
Hey.
He opened up another book.
Yeah.
I ain't got that book.
But Coach
So we
Brooks,
gotta get some
Kenny, you
stock.
talk about that all the time. You talk about it all the time. You get a feel, right?
I'm telling you, man. That was
and
it.
You get that feel, and you know, like, and everybody has that feel in some avenue of their life, right? So if you got that feel in in-game situations. Coach Rob, you may have that feel when you need to know and go into a trapping defense or a 1-3-1. You just get that feel. So like, I think it's a little bit of both. The experience helps, right? Because you've been in this before. But I think it's also, you're going to get a feel. But sometimes that feel comes because you've been through it before too now.
Right? And you're exactly right too. Like that game right there, we tried to spread Q out and make them play man. And that's what we did. We spread them out, and with our actions, he was in a zone, but we made him match up with us. And they had some bad matchups with it, and we started doing that. I've had it done to me. We had played in the preseason WNIT. We play in Hampton, and we come out, and I got all that stuff they did last year. 6 came out, had a whole bunch of little itty bitties. They spread us out, and they were just going to work. And they had his little guard. She was coming. I don't even know. I can't remember which one it was, 6. But she was getting the lane. She was pump faking. She was doing this stuff. And I'm looking at my assistants, and we didn't know. I'm like, where this come from? But what? Hey, look. And more important, what we gonna do?
Right.
It's like, you know. So, but it happens, man. Like Q stuff. You know, everybody thinks that you can't say the Q stuff is gimmicky. It's not. Like the stuff they're doing, it's got a purpose.
No question.
You know, it's got a purpose. Whether he got Petey or whether he got Tiana, they coming off that high ball screen, and man, it's like pick your poison. Pick your poison. What you gonna do?
Kenny started having his center bring the ball up the court on us, man.
Again,
down the middle of the floor. We like, yeah, whatever. Splash. I was like,
let me say this though. I think it's talent to recognize that you need to make an adjustment.
Right. That's what I'm saying, Six. That's what I'm saying.
Exactly what
it's talent that you need to make a change.
Mm-hmm.
But it's skill to get your kids to do something that you haven't ever done. That's skill to get them to believe that they can do that.
Yep.
Just like you talk about recruiting on the phone, it's skill and conversing with that young lady and getting them to like you. Yep. You in a moment's notice, you got to change, make an adjustment, and make them believe that I did this before or somewhere before. You know, get them to think that
sure.
what you're saying is the truth.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I dig, man. This skill talent thing, man. I'll be waking up in the middle of the night. Skill? Hard questions, man. I'm always wondering, that's skill and talent. That's your fault, man.
Listen, man. I think when you think about that, man, it's when you get that feel, man. And I know, you know, all of us has gotten that feel, and like we talked about in those avenues of what we're doing. I think taking it into account, how you get your kids to actually do that. And sometimes, guys, I'm gonna be honest with you, sometimes it's the recruiting that you did to get that kid to make that shot, right? A lot of times that's what it is. And you look great doing it, right? She's making that pull up that you call the ball screen, but it ain't, the ball screen ain't get the bucket, right? It's the kid that you got on the phone with. It's the kid that you went to go recruit, got the bucket. So again, when skill is even, talent takes over. So recruiting is the hugest piece of it all.
Right.
So this is good.
Hey, D,
man.
let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
All right. You're at the same place, and you've had success as an assistant, social head coach, and now a head coach. What allowed you to sustain that greatness and the winning tradition through all those roles? Because obviously you kept some of the principles y'all did, but it's your thing, so you're gonna make some changes. But what do you think was the biggest thing? Because, you know, let's call it spade a spade. We've all took over programs for people that didn't have success, and that's why we got our jobs.
Right.
You got a job coming off of a championship run.
Right.
What allowed you to sustain that?
I think, to be honest,
we're gonna ask us all those tough questions. We're gonna ask you some tough questions.
I got you. I think I had the Vonn Reid approach when I was an assistant. So I had the Vonn Reid approach, and I was always a sponge at learning, be it from yo, be it from you guys, be it from when I'm watching a scout and I'm seeing how this thing works, right? When I'm learning how the female athlete works, right? When I'm learning how we got to make sure that we coach their mind more than we coach their athletic ability and coach their athleticism. I think taking a lot of the principles that I learned playing, taking a lot of the principles that I learned coaching, and just grinding, man. I wasn't afraid to work, right? And that work helped me recognize some things that I could do when I was becoming a head coach. When I got into this thing, Q, I'm gonna be honest with you. When I got into this, I was in this because I wanted to be a head coach. So I did everything like I was the head coach of my area. So if I was gonna recruit, I was gonna be the head coach of recruiting. If I was gonna do film, I was gonna be the head coach of film. You couldn't, if she had a question for me, or she wanted to know something, I made sure I had it, because that was just me. Now, I don't know. Sometimes you just get a feel, and sometimes we win games. And then my assistants, man, the people that are around me have helped me as well. So my assistants have been tremendous. And now that they know me, and now that they know what I want, it's like clockwork in there, man. I'm getting ready to go tomorrow. I'm gonna let them run. They're gonna run practice, right? Because they know what I want, right? And I've been able to relay that to them. So that's it, man.
Yeah, sure.
You came on and host. You were the host for a second.
Good stuff.
Gotta take 30 seconds of love, baby.
No question, man. Well, listen, guys, I appreciate all you guys again for being on, man. This is always awesome. Listen, I just came from a daughter volleyball game today. I was rushing home because this is a highlight of my week, man. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate
Hey, man,
it.
listen. You came from that. I just came from a preschool open house. I'll tell you something right now, dog. That teacher with my son have a problem. I was like, get your coat, get your jacket. We got out of here. This joker gonna get expelled at the open house, bro. Y'all pray for me, man.
I've been on
good one, man. Thanks again. Coach, go ahead. Coach, you got something?
No, I was going to say I was on 3 Zooms before this one, and I was sitting in this chair just waiting for time, man, just so I could click it on, because this is the one that I want to be on the most.
Waiting for that email. Waiting for that email.
And you still gonna text us at 1 o'clock in the morning.
He's still going to text
1 o'clock. I seen that. Hey, watch Q. He gonna text you tonight. He gonna be like, "I just seen that set you just ran, 2007."
Or you gonna pull up.
No, I got him scouted, everything, man. I mess with Q so much, man, and Vonn them, man. Yeah, y'all.
When does Hughey sleep? When does
Hughey don't sleep, man? What you mean, sleep?
I gave that up a long time ago, man. When I was in Puerto Rico, the kids put that thing on me, man. I gave that sleep up a long time ago.
You tell him Hughey sleep is for suckers. Don't nobody sleep.
Man, Coach Rob, we appreciate you. Coach Brooks, we appreciate you, boss. Coach Six, and of course, Coach Q, man, we appreciate you being on, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Listen, anytime you want to come on, man. And
I'm on every Thursday.
Oh, let's
any
do
other
it.
committee, any other committee be on Thursday, I'm off it.
And you gotta go through the initiation. It's a club, man.
Yeah, don't say that, Q, unless you mean it.
You know what? We didn't take you through initiation yet, man. The first baptism. When you go in, you're a head coach now at Syracuse University, right? You go in and you're in the Big East now, so you probably had a couple baptisms, right? So when was that, and who was that first baptism that you took as a head coach?
Man, I remember. It's funny when you say that, man. I remember we was playing Rutgers, and we're at Rutgers, and they come down the court. I know what they're gonna run. Viv gonna run the whole set.
Yes.
They run the whole set. And I was, I had to figure. You know what we're gonna do, y'all? We're gonna start guarding them on that 6 pass. They run the whole set, but the problem was that 6 pass went to Cappy Pondexter. So it really ain't matter.
Right.
That's why I keep saying talent. Because that joker ran, because Viv was saying, same play. And that joker had like 37 running the same set. And they punished us, man. And let me tell you something right now, man. When you in that handshake line and you walking there, you going to see the head coach, she could have said to me, that was easy. And I would have had to say, you're right. That's my first moment when I knew. I said, man,
I'm here.
You better
now.
get right, because you can do everything. You can prepare as much as you want. But we always got to remember that they're 18 to 22, 23-year-olds, and them jokers going to the WNBA, they're going to the Olympics. Them jokers making millions of dollars, not because they okay.
Right. Because
they can do it. And that's my that's my baptism when I realized you're in the Big East. You're not where you were. That was it.
I love it, man. That's something we can end on this one, fellas, man. That was dope. That was dope. Y'all have a good one. Enjoy the rest of your night, man. It's always good. Y'all take care.
I'll take care, man.
We ball hard,